Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome as we draw closer to the conclusion here of Jackpot June for the 2025 MRE Uno Tournament T4. We have entered into our final four as one representative from each one of the regions now look to advance to the final table. Already, Vapor has been able to vanquish Caesar. We know he's waiting in the wings, and he will be awaiting the winner of today's matchup. Is on the Spades region. The overall winner is Gold. On the Hearts region, it's the rookie in Background. These two looking to see who's going to be moving on to the final table. Only one can. The other will unfortunately have their road come to an end here today. For Gold, he's got some veteran experience coming into this. This is his fourth appearance in the Final Four. On the flip side, we talked about back in the round of 16, eventually the round of 8. First appearance for Background. This is obviously as well his first appearance here in the Final Four. However, it's his first appearance in D1. He has been in the Final Four in the past in D2. We'll see if that experience in a different division still has him prepared here as he looks to make the final table for the first time in his career. We do not have a statistics page for you, but we'll talk about the road that these two had to be able to get to this point. Starting first with Gold back in the round of 64, he was able to take down ALP in a 4-2 victory. Tilt 32, he swept James Ellison 4-0. Straight 16, he was able to take down one of our number one seeds in Mac Johnson in a 5-4 victory, and then advanced here into the Final Four through a DQ victory against Brian. On the other side, Background, he in the round of 64 took down Tago in a 4-2 victory. He also took down a number one seed in Nick in the Tilt 32, 4-2 victory there as well. Straight 16, he was able to take down DePere 5-4, and then in the round of 8, it was a 5-1 victory over Toasty to be able to make his way here into this matchup this afternoon. It's going to be a good one here today. It is a best of 11 in this one as they had to make their way through a best of 9 to get to this point. So a lot more gameplay, going to be a lot more endurance that these players are going to have to be able to come out on top and advance into the final table. Speaking of the table, we head on down to it now. I got Sean Art joining me on commentary for this one. Cody Smart is the referee, and Sean, for Verigold, he's been here before in Division 1. His fourth appearance here in the Final Four, so he knows what to expect at the top level. In Division 2, however, Background's been able to make his way into a championship picture here in the Final Four. Is there a difference or is there a similarity in terms of the Final Four here in D1 that will help Background to have a little bit of a comfort level here, since this is the furthest he's ever made it in the first division?
Well, if you think about all that sort of statistics and stuff, you would think Gold has the fair advantage here. But this is that we're mentioning here. There is no advantages to say on either player. Background can play a certain strategy that can make their opponent get frustrated, make it difficult to try to win. And this is where background character is going to try to exceed expectations and try to potentially get into the finals.
Also consider the fact here as well, when you look at their resumes here in Jackpot June, they both were able to take down a number one seed on their path here to the Final Four. They also, both in the round of 16, had to go to the ultimate limit. They went to a final game 9 in their matchups and were able to come out on top. If we look at the matchup that already has taken place, we know Vapor has moved on to the final table. It was a 6-1 victory that he had over Caesar. Do we see something similar here today where the one that establishes the momentum right out of the gate may be able to have that advantage for the entire series? Or do we see this one, as I said, with the resumes being as close as they are here so far since the split 64, do we see this one maybe having the potentiality of going the distance to that final game 11?
I don't think it's going to be either one of those things. I look at it somewhere right in the middle. This is going to be a long series, but it's not going to go the distance. But it's who's going to have the advantage in the middle portion of this series.
We're going to ask some questions here from our two respective players. Background, as mentioned, first time that you advance here into the Final Four, so congratulations on that, continuing to pad up your resume here in Division 1, but kind of what I asked there from Art, is there anything you can call back to with your experience being this high up in a tournament in Division 2 that you can then apply here in Division 1 as you look to make the final table here in Division 1 for the very first time? And then Gold, obviously, the veteran experience coming into here. You've been here before. You know what is at stake. You know what kind of strategy maybe to utilize here with an 11-game series. You've made the Final Four now 4 different times. How much does that veteran experience come into play, or kind of leaning into what Sean said? Is it really going to come down to, do you think, this bot meta that might be the determining factor here as to whether you're going to be moving on to face off against Vapor or not? And I believe both of our opponents here are going to be typing out their answers. So while they do that, we'll bring everybody up to speed in what to expect in this one. If you've been following during the course of this Jackpot June, we had a best of 7 back in the round of 64 to the round of 16. The round of 8, it was a 9-game series with 1 power play available. Now, here in this Final Four matchup, 11 potential maximum games. We have 2 power plays that are available for these players to be able to utilize, and then, of course, as well, the highest seed, a 4 seed in Verigold, would get the homestand. He gets the first 3. Second 3 then would go to background. If we then need to continue on, it'd be 2 home games for Gold, 2 home games for background, and Gold would have the final 11th game should we get to that point. Background says, honestly, Uno is Uno. We'll see what happens. Trust Gold will play well against Vapor. Hope that I'll get the chance to make them earn it. And then Gold says, apologies for filling it. Okay, I repeat the last bit. Gold, so what I was basically saying was, with the veteran experience that you've got here in making it into the Final Four now for the 4th time in your career, how much of that are you able to call back on here and knowing what an endurance type battle this is going to be? Or with this new bot meta, do you think the bot is going to be the determining factor in about all this, as it kind of was in the Vapor Caesar game here yesterday? Of course, as well, the scenarios here, depending on who ends up moving on to the final table. Background, of course, would be looking to get to the final table for the first time in his career. It would be a 4 versus 8 seed battle if he advances. If Verigold is able to advance, it would be a 4 versus 4 seed with Vapor and Gold. So a straight up 4-seeded matchup in the finals, dependent again on who ends up taking this victory here this afternoon. So as we wait for Gold to type out his answer here. Obviously, this being a Final Four game, got a lot of people that are keeping eyes on this one. And here's the answer from Gold. Says, think he's able to call back a lot of it. Even with the new bot, think I can go the distance. Consider I did it last time in the Final Four, only to get stopped by that typo of mine. And with another tournament's worth of practice, I think I can prevent that typo again and go the distance. All right, so it will be interesting to see. I mean, we talk about all the different facets of Uno, limit mistakes. You obviously have to be paying attention to card history when we go later on into these games. All the different facets of Uno, they're all going to have to be called on here as these two grizzled players here in Jackpot June look to take one step further and advance to the final table here in T4. Mention that Cody Smart is our referee. Home game to kick off this best of 11 series in the Final Four is going to go to the highest seed in Gold. So Gold, table is wide open. What are we doing here to kick off this Final Four matchup? And we're going with an even 10 to kick this thing off. A perfect 10 will start on an action card with the yellow reverse.
That's interesting. That is really interesting.
It is indeed. We'll see if Gold decides to maybe play off of this. Does he just cap it off? 10-card start, so expect at least here, maybe in the early going of this first game, a little bit of a slower approach, trying to strategize here. Both going to run in yellow. One down from background into the yellow
Yeah,
2, the bow tie.
they're going to keep it really simple here on this start.
10-card start as well. Potential for ammunition, but we're not really up into that high tier where a lot of ammunition could be. So we're gonna, as you said, we're gonna probably just run in some numbers here in the early going.
Yeah, not going to go for like the crazy plays into your action cards or the switches yet, but it might change right here with gold.
Gold in full concentration mode as he's
No.
actually deafened here right now. Some people they like to hear the commentary. Other people they want to be absolute tunnel vision. They want to be in their own little cocoon here and be absolute laser focused. As background with the 0 sugar and the drip there, and then gold brings it back up there to the 8. A lot of yellow used here in the early going. We'll see who's going to initiate that first color swap.
Yeah, waiting on the light switch in here. I haven't seen it yet. Again, that's one of the key factors as well if you're thinking on the plays.
Continuing to run in yellow here. Just waiting potentially for Pandora's box to open up. Saw a lot of light switching back in the round of 16. Played a big part into who was advancing and who was not, as gold going to be the first one out here on yellow. Does not find a path to be able to get to another color. Let's see if background's got to play. He does. Double play here with yellow. He had a lot of yellow. Holy cow.
Might be a triple, might be a quad.
And you hit it around the head. Indeed, a quad play, and he'll find the switch over into green. Ends it on a 7 there is smart as well, because he knows that gold doesn't have a 7. Gold will obviously, I would assume, have some green here, but background down to 2 cards, immediately drawn back with the +4. And gold will now take the advantage, bringing it into red. Background plays it cool. Gold down to 3, background down to 5.
Background just needs one big play right here to get the advantage back into his side.
Taking his time with the typing out. Might have something loaded up, as you said. Let's see. And he'll answer back with a +4 of his own.
Oh, back to the yellow. Oh, but the light switch.
Oh, he does. Light switches it over to blue, so Pandora's box has been opened. All 4 colors now played. Light switches back to red. Does gold, getting back to what he wanted when he played the +4. Does background have a finish here? Oh, he's a check.
Oh, my
Puts
goodness.
it to green with the wild at check.
Ew.
Does gold have an answer?
That's crazy.
Can't do anything. Had to play it in green, and that's going to be game 1 to background with the green reverse.
That was a good move there by background character.
Fantastic move. No ammunition available there for gold to be able to swap it off of the color green. And background going to take this first game in just a tick over 4 minutes. Gold, I mean, obviously we saw you fire back at him there with the +4. Was trying to establish there in red. Was it just the +4 back, or that kind of took you away from the finish line there? Or did you have a finish if you'd been able to just keep it in red? And then background, obviously a great win for you here, establishing the momentum right out of the gate. What was it that he gave you there on the return? Was it anything good? Because we always talk about the cause and effect when the +4s or the +2s are played. Was it something that actually helped you rather than hurt you? And while we wait for these two to type out their answer, I'm going to quickly step aside for about 15 seconds and be right back.
All right. Man, that was a... I'll say that. Great run there. Both guys.
Good first match to get the tempo going, you know?
I would agree. Do have to agree on that. And really, that's always the main factor here is sort of finding the tempo, trying to find what's good, what's not, and that's always why game one of a long series is going to be sort of the feeler.
Precisely. And if more games will be like that, I think we are in for a really, really awesome match here.
We'll find out.
All right, I
Both,
have returned.
both guys have answered.
See, background said had the +4 in its starting hand. So if you didn't stop me with your own, would have won there. +4 gave me that wild, really lucky gold swap to green. And then gold says just to pull it 4 back, didn't have a finish, was looking to go with a number efficiency, debating using my power play to change the color off green at the very end there, but decided it wasn't worth using it just yet. That's interesting that he was considering the power play right out of the gate here. You have that luxury, right? When you have 2 power plays here, yes, it is a best of 11, but you get a little bit more freedom in the early portions of a series to maybe burn that first power play to be able to establish some momentum. And interesting, first game, and gold was already considering maybe using one of those 2 power plays here in game 1.
That's interesting to think about that, but he decided to save it off for now. And here's the thing: maybe not using it now will benefit you later on in the series.
Absolutely, absolutely. We'll have to see. We'll definitely, as we get later on into this series, call back to this first game with not using the power play. To your point, could be a turning point here in this series, preserving both the power plays for later on. As you saw there, what background had, that was a lot of yellow, and he was able to, fortunately, drain that all out. Usually that can be a bit of a hindrance, but he was able to make it work, and so he takes a 1-0 lead here in this series, but still 2 more homestands for gold. And gold, you've still got everything open here. What are we doing for game number 2?
14.
We're going higher tier, just 1 under a full send here, looking maybe for some ammo distribution out of this one. As we'll go a double OG.
And it's going to start off with the Zach 2.
So gold looking to draw the series back even 1-1.
Wow.
Background looking to take a 2-0 advantage. Immediately the light switch there. Well,
back to red.
We're right back to where we started. Okay.
It looks like it's going to be that sort of matchup.
The answer back there from background. So gold will say, all right, so we'll run in red here for a while. We'll have to see if maybe Bowtie calls back to yellow, or not Bowtie, I'm sorry, that's the Bowtie yellow, so that's why I said that. We'll have to see if gold actually calls back to the yellow here at a later portion of this game. Well, he'll go to the green instead now. Background 1 down with the green 3. Light switching galore here in game number 2. And gold initiating quite a bit of it here. He's made the swap over into the yellow, into the green, into the blue. Background brings it down to 0 sugar.
And gold's going to go up 1 this time.
Background with the blue 8 so far, just running numbers. So waiting to see just exactly when either one of these two may be forced to have to use ammunition, or maybe ready to use ammunition if they got it on the initial start with a 14-card draw.
It's more than guaranteed that there might be some ammunition, and there it is.
There it is, the stacked +2, so that is 6 cards heading in the direction of gold. Ends on his own card, does background. Brings it down to 6. Question is, did he play those +2s a little too early here? This is kind of considered middle portion of the hand. Gold just going to run it clean with the DJ Curtis 5.
Oh my
wow.
goodness. Oh my goodness, into the llama's wild.
Oh, but answered back did gold. He plays the KT wild of his own to bring it to blue. Does that ice out? Background, it does.
Man, that's great.
Now gold can continue to run here in blue, looking for that number efficiency, not allow background to light switch off of it. Background clearly looking to get to yellow. He'll continue to draw back.
Oh man, that is not what you need right now. If you are background.
Finds a way over to green. See what gold's able to do here in green, and he'll do a trips play. He'll bring it back over to blue once again. A great
But draws
wraparound.
but draws on that blue reverse.
Still going to ice out background at least, unless background has a reverse. No, he does have the reverse, and he'll get it to the color he wanted there with the yellow now.
Yeah, that is not what Gold wanted to have happen here,
No.
since he knows background needed the yellow. Is that what background needs to end this game?
Question is, what did he draw back though as well? Oh, +4 into
Oh,
the
it's gonna
yellow.
be a
This has to be a finish.
quad
This has
quad
to be a
play to
finish.
finish.
You wouldn't
Quad
use
play
the
to
+4 if it
finish.
wasn't.
It's gonna be a quad play to finish. He
Wow.
gets game 2.
Got it to the color he needed. Had the +4 to kick the quad play off. Just 2 seconds under the length it took for the first game. They were averaging 4 minutes, 8 seconds here in these first 2 games. Another quick, efficient game here by background. I would assume background again maybe had that +4 on the initial draw like you did back on the 10 card start, and then when you were iced out on blue, what were some of the cards you ended up getting? Were they cards that helped, cards that hurt? Because I think you drew back at least 2 or 3 times when you were iced out on blue. And then gold, I mean, you've done a great job here with establishing the color possession. We end up seeing you have that ISO play there, answering back with your own wild when he had the yellow wild. A lot of the light switching going on here. Has it just been a matter of the cards are a little too disjointed for you to be able to put a run together? So with the light switches, you're doing a lot of searching right now? 2-0 advantage here for background right out of the gate. Obviously it's too early to panic. There's a lot of games still left to be played, but the fact that both wins have been on the road, and after this upcoming game, there's going to be 3 home games for background. Is it too early to call game 3 a must-win for gold?
I don't think so. I think right now you want to at least have one win at home before you head on the road, because if you are down 0-3 on the road and it is not looking good, Gold is going to be in a tight position here. So he needs to do well here and at least get the win for this one, because if not, it's a tough hill to climb and it's not going to be pretty.
How about this in terms of the luck of the draw, literally for background? Both wilds, the regular wild and the wild +4, he drew those on his 2 drawbacks. Got the yellow 2, yellow +4 on the draws in blue, and then with gold blocking him on the reverse, he had that avenue to get over to yellow. Gold says that he's had the number efficiency, just not had a lot of the connectors outside of that, unfortunately. And he still made background earn that for sure. Oh, both wilds were in your starting hand. Okay, my bad. I read that incorrectly there. So getting the wild +4 again on an initial draw here. Kind of been a bit of a difference maker for background in these first 2 games. Well, gold, you've got one more homestand here of these first 3. And you've still got everything open. Okay, so we're taking the ammunition potentially out of the conversation. We're going to go low tier here. We're going to start with 6 cards, and aproposly, we're going to start with a yellow 6.
All right. This is where there's a luck base behind it, though, because the bot could give cards, some good cards to one player, but not to the other. But this
Okay.
can also be a long, tired out game.
Trip 6 to kick this thing off. Double play here from gold. Yeah, and to your point, Art, we've seen here, even in this Jackpot June, we have seen 5 and 6 card Plan A games. I mean, it's not outside the realm of the possibility, but that will not be the case for either, as they're going to draw back on the red 2.
Oh, look at that little wink there by Gold.
And
Oh,
then a blink.
that's a blink right there, and yeah, that wasn't gonna work out.
Both going to run in green here.
Does background have something here?
Pandora's box would be the blue. Background at 6, Gold at 2. Background plays the green 6. Can Gold at least get to check? Can he maybe find the 2 cards to get a finish? Oh
He
my
got
gosh,
it!
he will! The double +2 at the end. Wow!
Yeah.
Just under a minute and 15 seconds. Not quite a plan A. We'll call it a plan A to B, I guess, because there was only, I think, maybe 2 or 3 drawbacks there on the red +2, or on the red 2. Gold, obviously, you kind of wanted to take the ammunition out of the conversation. Your number efficiency's been good. Was that kind of why you started with the 6 cards there? And is that how it worked out for you? Obviously, a great finish there as well to close out with the double +2. And yeah, there you see. Yeah, so right out of the gate, that was his goal. The high tier, the mid to high tier wasn't working. Let's try something different. Go down there to the low tier with 6 cards. Works out for him. He'll at least get one of those wins back there on his final homestand of this start of 3 home games. Background, obviously, not a whole lot you're able to do there in that situation. We saw you be able to get the cards whittled down a bit there with the double play in the red, but then was it just a case, kind of like what Gold's been dealing with here in these first 2 games, not being able to find the connectors? Gold says, got that start where he could go either +2 to +2, green 3, but he took advantage of the number efficiency to go to red, and that obviously worked out in his favor there, having the double play to close this one out. Background says, was hoping Gold was going to draw on green again, didn't expect the +2 combo. Yeah, so both of these guys have done great as far as the combinations here to close out these first 3 games, and now Gold gets one back. As we said, Sean, it was one that was almost a must-win here, being his last homestand to kick this series off, and now he can go to work on the road here, as Background will end up having the card call advantage for the next 3 games. Background, no 14, no 10. Everything else is available. What are we looking at here for your first homestand? We're going to go the even dozen route with 12.
A dozen donuts in store now.
Oh, don't say donuts. I'm hungry enough as it is. Oh, I could devour an entire dozen of Krispy Kreme Original Glaze right now. We're gonna draw right off the bat here with the red skip. We'll see now if Gold will feed into the ammunition card. He will. He'll cap it off with the red 0 sugar, and Background will continue to draw back. So I wondered if maybe it was just he didn't want to play off the ammo card, but now may actually have had no red whatsoever to kick this thing off. We saw back in that first game he had a lot of yellow and was pretty depleted in the other 3 colors. Might be same kind of scenario here in game 4.
Yep, that might be true there, but we'll see. It's still a long game.
Still a long game indeed. Again, the number that these guys are both looking for is 6. 6 wins and you take the series. Right now a 2-1 advantage for Background, as he will initiate the color swap into the green. So looks like he was indeed iced out in red right out of the get-go, and finally finds his way to a color that he can utilize.
But will Gold have something in store here? Yeah, just gonna play it cool.
Goes one up to the ALP. And Background will answer. He'll do a ditto play there, but a double as well with the green +2. Draws Gold back just a little bit and ties it up, knots it at 11 cards each. Gold brings it back to red. Looking to ice background out once again, and
Yeah,
he
he
will do
did.
so.
He did. It was clear that he could get back to red. But does he have something to do here? He's just gonna play it cool.
And again, just trying to find that number efficiency. Oh, now he'll actually bail background out, brings it back to green with the light switch off the 3.
And it's been that two color strategy.
Yeah, so far. You're right.
But I wouldn't count out both of them either having yellows or blues, as there's a blue.
Yep, there's the initiation over into blue. First time we've been there in this game. And a little ditto play there from background. 1 down for gold. We're running low numbers here in the blue to start off with. And background gonna wrap it back to green.
Oh my goodness. So still looking for that yellow.
Gold
Still
typing
looking.
something out here. Oh, he's gonna have.
There it is.
Wow! Brings it to
Down
check.
the check.
Wraps
My goodness.
around to yellow.
A 5-card bagger.
He said it.
Right
Yellow
there.
was going to be the Pandora's box color. There it was right there. Now let's see if there's an answer back with 12 cards. Yes, there is.
Wow.
Got the +4 on the return of the +2, maybe.
I would think so. Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
KT Wild.
4 freshies. He establishes it over to blue. Background can only run in it. Let's see with 4 cards what gold's able to do. Gets down to 3 with the M.
Oh, double play there by background.
Just trying to get close here. Gold down to 3. Did that +4 give him enough he can run? Oh, he'll get to check. Gets the double play. +2 into the blue 4. Question is, what's on the return of that +2? Is there something background can do to draw gold back from check again? No.
Oh no. Is that it?
Gold iced out. Couldn't find the finish.
Oh, I bet he was looking for number efficiency.
Yep, I think you're right. Oh, I think that's it right there. I think that's what he wanted. The green 4 might have been the finish. He'll bring it to check.
No,
Background.
that had to be top deck. That had to be top deck on that 4.
Could it be? Because he said maybe number efficiency. He ended on a blue 4 when he got to check. He might have been looking for the green 4.
Oh, you might be right. Oh, but it ain't enough.
Nope, it's not. Drawing
We're still
back
going.
again. And
He needs a number.
background's closing in. Background's down to 5. Gold finds a top deck there. Back to check
Another
once again.
check.
Background's iced. Can the number efficiency work here for gold with the 6? No, it was not.
It has to be number efficiency to work for gold here, but he can't do it with him drawing back, and now he's really gonna start going back.
And we're both iced out now on the green 6.
Oh boy, I think we might be seeing our first trip to Draw City.
Yes, indeed. We might be here a while. There's a green 0. I believe
that's a wink. That's a wink. That ain't gonna be it unless gold has a number efficiency play right here.
Yeah, we've played 2 of the 0s so far. Only the yellow and the blue are still out there, so the unlikelihood of seeing a light switch off that card.
Well, yeah, it's not there.
Oh, gold was able to... Whoa, hold on. What?
Oh my goodness, a 4-bagger to win it.
I didn't realize he was at 4 cards. I thought we'd drawn back enough that no one was close to the end zone.
No, he was there to the end zone. He just needed 1 extra card to get it.
He found what he needed.
That was
+4 to the +2.
perfect.
Reverse ends on background's own card. Crazy draws for sure. What was the card you needed there? Gold was it the +4? Was that the connector that you had to have there to be able to have that run? That was okay.
Yeah,
so he was all in red. All in red. Also, was I correct in the assumption there? When you played the blue 4, you were looking for the number efficiency to close out with the green 4, or was there what was the other card I think you had? I think it was the green 6. Was that the card you were stuck with? It was. Okay, so yeah.
Oh,
You were right,
he
Sean. He
was
was looking for the number efficiency at the end there with the 4s.
yeah, and he decided to still save up that power play. Still gonna keep the two power plays together. And luckily, this series is now tied up.
It is. Background, we saw you trying to establish a color there, and he kept bringing it back to the red, icing you out. Was that kind of what was hurting you there, especially middle portion of the game? We saw you obviously be able to draw him back, some good plays there to keep him from the number efficiency, but it kind of almost looks like the script's been flipped here where the connectors aren't happening now for you in these last couple of games. Yeah, nothing he could do on that one there. Red was his last card, drew the reverse, then the +2, then the +4. That's a crazy sequence of draws there for 3 draws in a row. Well, this series now tied up 2-2. Background gonna have the next homestand here. This will be the rubber match of a best of 5 between the two of them, and Background will go back to the well with a 12-card start once again, able to do that since Gold ended up winning on the first 12-card start. So here we go. Let's see who's going to be able to take this
Yellow
5th game
3.
here.
Yellow 3 to start here in game number 5.
And immediately we're going to light switch off of that into the blue. Well, never mind. We're going to the green.
Oh my goodness.
Trips 3 to kick off this game.
And not another color switch.
Two games won apiece. They have to get to 6 wins to take this series. Now maybe looking for that 3rd game, trying to get to the halfway point. That might be maybe where we'll start to see these two guys consider the utilization of that first power play if the situation arises.
Yeah.
Green 6, that was the trouble card for both these players back in the last game, sent us into that draw city. And Background will immediately light switch off of that into the yellow. And Gold iced out. Our first revisit back to yellow since the initial card. Background now going to bail Gold out. He'll do the wraparound with the trips play. The double skip into the 9 brings it back to red. Down to 6 cards here. Gold at 11, but he will now deplete that with a quad play of his own. The +2 in the middle of that, and now he will move the momentum into his favor. Background will drop back even, 7 cards apiece, as he'll light switch it into blue. Gold down to the bottom floor with the 0 sugar. Little self-ditto there from Background. Back up to the blue 8. Ooh, look at this. Double, triple play. Double skip into the
Man,
JT5. Gold down to 3.
That's a good play there by Gold.
See what Background has for an answer back. Oh, he'll look to ice him. Couldn't do it. Gold had red. Well, he had the 1 red. Now he's iced. And Background brings it back to blue. Bails him out again.
That's going to open the door for Gold again.
Knotted at 3. Oh, and that wasn't... Okay, didn't matter. Didn't matter. Oh my gosh. Was that another... That... I was going to say, the top decks... Was that another case there, Gold? Of the +4 was another top deck? Oh my gosh.
That is some shot clock cheese right there.
There's nothing that Background can do in that scenario. Whatever color he goes to doesn't matter. The +4 is going to connect the double reverses at the end in yellow. The top decks have been absolutely insane here on both sides. And
This is back-to-back games now for Gold that he's had that +4
yes,
top deck.
yeah, you're right. He ended up having it for the quad back in the 4th game, and now the trips here for the 5th game. Absolutely crazy. I mean, I'm gonna. I guess I'll ask for both background and gold the exact same question here. I mean, I asked this pregame, and we're kind of seeing it here. It's definitely looking like that the top decks here, whatever the return is on the ammunition, the bot is playing a pivotal part into this. How much are either of you feeling like you're in control of these games right now? Background says 0% control on his end there. Feel like I'm mostly control. Even when I don't have the ammo, I do have the color control. Okay. Well, right now, Gold has got himself a 3-2 advantage. He's halfway to the finish line. He needs 3 more wins to be able to take this series, move on, and face Vapor. For background, needs 1 game here to draw it even, knot it at 3-3. Get set for his final homestand here of his 3 back-to-back-to-back homestand games. Background, you've still got everything open except for 10 and 14. What are we looking at here for game number 6? Okay, we're going to go to 9. So it looks like we've been running a trend of multiples of 3 here. 6, 12, 12, and now 9 here in these last 4 games. And we'll kick things off here in the green. Background will immediately bring it down to the cellar with the green 0.
This is going to be somewhat important here for background character. If we can win this game, even it up, it's basically then who knows what's going to happen the rest of this series.
Is this the same deal, Sean, as it was back in Game 3 where Gold was 0-2 at home and you kind of dubbed it almost a must-win here for him to get a homestand? Same deal here for background, 0-2 here at home, needs to get this homestand victory as well?
I'm going to just somehow think it does. If background character doesn't win here and it goes down 4-2, it's, again, a tough hill to climb. But if you can even it out, then it's just let them go. Let them fight it out.
Background is iced out right now in the green. He will find the light switch over to blue off the 6. Gold with the blue 4. See what background can do after the initiation over to the blue. Might have been looking to play some ammo. He does play some ammo. He'll actually use the ammo to wrap around from blue over to red with the quad play. Ends on the Tapir 4. Gold with the red 1 advances to level 27 and immediately the light switch over into yellow. Gold answers back though and says, no, we're staying in red.
Oh my goodness, that is some trickery right there.
And ices background out. Ices both of them out. They were down to
ISO
3 and 4
play.
cards respectively. Top deck with the Tapir there for background.
Not gonna work. Not gonna work. That was a wink. Oh, interesting.
Leaves it
And
open
it's still gonna
on the
work.
skip.
Still gonna work. They're still drawing.
And now we're probably going to spend a bit of spell in Draw City, one would assume, unless somebody's able to find a top deck to cap off that skip.
We're in Draw City, but yeah, it's gonna have to be top deck. But it's if you want to switch off of this skip, that's the big thing right here.
And Gold's going to do just that. Double play into the bow tie. He'll bring it over into yellow. So we'll exit out of Draw City for a bit here. Should be able to run in yellow for a little bit.
And advantage will go to gold now after that double.
Correct.
Oh, but background's typing here for a
He's
bit.
loading up.
Oh,
Double play of his own. Little ditto there with the yellow +2, but another 2 that has a plus in front of it to gain himself now the advantage on gold.
now we're running in yellow. Back to red.
Gold with the light switch into red. Background was iced out in that before.
Number efficiency.
Oh, he's gonna use the
Oh,
wild. Gonna use the wild, bring it back to yellow.
the llama's wild.
Does gold have an
Does
answer back? Does this maybe flush out a +4 if he was holding
yeah?
it?
I think he's gonna flush out a yellow here. Well, the wild here. He's gonna flush it.
There it is.
Yep.
Flushed it out. Brings it over to blue.
And advantage to gold once again.
Well, not so fast. Answers back with the +2.
Yeah, not so fast, my friend says. Background character. He takes back the advantage.
Like a seesaw right now. Up and down and
And
up and
back to
down.
gold.
Okay, well. We're just trading the advantage back and forth here with these double plays.
And background's out.
Locked out of blue. Gold may
Back
bail him
to
out,
yellow.
though. Finds it back to yellow. Background wanted that color, remember? We saw... Oh, well.
Green.
Okay, doesn't stay in yellow. He'll go over to green instead.
That had to be a strategy-based move there. Oh, but
Background thinks this is it. 4 cards
background.
left for gold. Oh!
My goodness.
Background put in the power play.
Couldn't do it.
Nope, couldn't do it apparently. It looked like he got it in time, but...
Well, no, he sent it in before gold put in the card, so couldn't do that.
So quad play to close it out there. Trips +2 into the yellow reverse. And gold now goes up 4-2, has won the last 4 games in a row. Background says, nice to know someone's getting combos. We talking about the cards, or we talking about the snacks? I shouldn't be talking about food. I mean, obviously, right now, gold. As we've seen, the top decks have really been working in your favor. A lot of ammunition you've been able to utilize here. Another quad play to close this one out. +2s have been crazy with what you've had here to close out a couple of these games. You now take a 4-2 advantage heading into your next homestand. You also, Sean alluded to this here, now looking back at that first game when you consider the power play, how much more confidence do you have going into the latter portion of this series, still having not one but both of the power plays at your disposal? And then background, I mean, tough break there, 0-3 on the road. You still got a chance, obviously, to be able to draw this thing back even. You won the first 2 games on the road there. Do you think that now you'll be able to maybe utilize your power plays, draw this thing back even, or are you still of the mindset of trying to rely on ammunition, ammo, number efficiency, stuff like that, to be able to keep those power plays in check in case you need them if the thing ends up drawing closer into even a best of 9, a best of, or that crucial best of 11? Depends on if the bot gives you a break. Really golds to throw at this point. Gotcha. Yeah, that might be a moment of this series, a moment of this tournament that we go back in, Sean, in terms of the timing of the typing out of that power play. Everyone's going to have something different on their end. On my end, it looked like the power play went in ahead of time. For gold, he got the cards in ahead of time. I'm sure everybody's got a different look on the timing when the power play was utilized, but I mean, blessing and a curse if you're background. Yes, you obviously would have liked to have stopped that run there and not be going into game 7 down 4-2. At the same time, though, there's not a guarantee that background, after utilizing the power play, would have won that game, and it could have been a power play wasted. Now he still has 2 available here.
Well, yeah, and really on my end, I saw that background was trying to use the power play before cards were even submitted in. So it's whatever. He still has his other power play. He still has two.
Yep.
So really now, as we go into the back half of this series, it's going to be critical to use those power plays to get the advantage back to your side.
Gold said he held on to the +2s for a bit. Green +2 was there from the start. The +4 was there from the start as well. Feels Good was debating again using the power play, but it worked so he didn't have to, and ended up not needing it after all. All right, so both still have both their power plays available. It's a 4-2 advantage here for Gold, and he gets the next 2 homestands. Background sent it first, but the bot must have picked up Gold's instead. Interesting. That's gonna be maybe a turning point here of this series. It'll be kind of interesting to revisit that later on. But Gold, you're back at home. No 6, no 9, no 12. What are we looking at here for a crucial game number 7? Gold 2 victories away from moving on to face Vapor.
Down to 7.
Indeed, the classic, the OG. Background needs 2 victories to draw this series back 4-4, and we'll start this thing off with the blue 2. Unlikely that we could end up having a plan A, but it is not outside of the realm of possibility. Gonna take a little time here, observe the cards, plan a strategy, and we'll see what Gold is going to start off with here for the first played card. Again, the winner of this matchup takes on Vapor in the final table. As we're going to do a little ditto play to kick this thing off.
And don't forget also, the person who doesn't win this game is heading to the third place game to face Caesar.
Correct. See who ends up getting the bronze medal here in Jackpot June. Gold representing the Spades region, background representing the Hearts region here in this matchup. Double play there from background. Ices Gold out in blue. See what background can do now. Will he stay in that color? Will he light switch? Does he have more to work with? No.
No, he draws back. Oh boy, here we go.
Okay, so definitely no plan A. Ooh, maybe a top deck there from Gold. Finds the double into the 7 off the skip. His background is he able to use the 7 to light switch? No, he finds a +2 in blue of his own, and he'll wrap it around to green. Ends on the Chomic 8.
Wow.
Down to 3 for background.
Great usage of the triple play there. But I don't know using those +2s that early.
6 cards on the return, and there's an answer
Oh
back.
my goodness.
Wraps it around to the Charles Sanford red 6, a +2 in the middle there, drawing background away from the proverbial end zone. And he'll answer back himself with a +2, double play into the red 3. So now back down to 3 cards, 2 freshies back to Gold, set back to 9.
Over to blue now.
They were iced out in blue earlier. Unlikely background has any blue. Oh, but he does! The pun! I was waiting for it. He hasn't had a blue 4 all day, and now he finally has one. The pun, the in before I lose, is there. And gold with the self-ditto.
But does background character have something here?
Brings it to check.
Check.
One card away from trying to get this series 4-3. Trying to win another game on the road. Gold iced. Oh, and background's iced as well. Didn't have the color or the number.
So close.
Gold finds himself a top deck with the blue 6. Background can't use it. Can gold use it here for a light switch? Yes, he can.
Oh.
Ooh. I left it open on the reverse. Gold will cap it, though.
Number efficiency.
Back to red. And now gold will leave it open.
But does background character always got a check?
It's got it onto pier for check. Gold iced out. Does background have the card? He's got the number efficiency.
Number efficiency. Wow.
The green 4 number efficiency closes out his third win of the series, draws it to 4-3 now, his third victory on the road as well. Background, it looked like really you were having to rely on the number efficiency there a couple of times down at the end. Finally got what you were looking for. Was it a matter of you just needed to find a color to ice gold out to be able to utilize that number efficiency? You didn't need him swapping the numbers on you there for you to be able to find that finish? And then gold, I mean, obviously, we talked about the fact you're 2 wins away from being able to take this series. 2 power plays available. Was there any possibility? You've given some thought to a power play in a couple of these games. Was there any consideration of a power play here, or were we kind of back to where we were beginning of the series, where there just weren't enough connectors to make the utilization of a power play worthwhile? Take a look here as well, I mean, an average time of 4 minutes even in 7 games played. These have been rapid-fire games. Yes, we've been in Draw City a couple of times, but the efficiency that we've seen here out of both players to be able to close out these games pretty quickly has been pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's been really good. And you look at gold here saying not this time, didn't get the chance. I think that's sort of the thing there. Once you get pushed back too far, using a power play is risky, and it's sometimes not the best sort of move.
Yeah, only if you have a guarantee that you're going to end up either stopping somebody from winning or winning yourself is when you really want to use that. We've seen multiple times people use a power play and not come out on the other side winning that game and kind of rendering that power play null and void. So have to be smart with it here. Background says, was hoping for a quick win. Definitely feeling the pressure. Thought the +2s would be a new position. Was tempted to fish, but didn't want to get comboed without a fight. Had all 3 +2s in his starting hand. So a lot of options there to be able to fire out some offense with the classic 7-card start. And now background is going to look to have one more win to knot this thing up at 4. He'll have to do it again. Look for his 4th victory on the road as ball is still in the court of gold. His final homestand here in terms of back-to-back homestands late in this series. Make that gold. Still no 6, 9, or 12. What do we have for game number 8?
No send.
Boy.
No send.
Might be saving that if we end up getting to a game 11. We'll have to wait and see. We start out in yellow, 1 up both times here, from the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Then we'll make a leap up there to the yellow 7. Continuing to run here. And there's the
These
first
guys are
ice.
already going quick. All gold's out, background's out. Okay, now we can calm down for a
Now
bit.
we can, yep. The plan A possibility is gone.
When you get down to something like a no send, that's something we gotta pay attention to. If they go quick here, it can be done real fast. But once they finally get into the stoppage, it's like, okay.
And Gold said earlier he's felt like he's been in control, but when you start with 5 card start, there's not a whole lot that you're able to control. You're in essence relying on the bot to work out for you here as we're knotted at 4 apiece. We've light switched it over into green. How long are we able to run in this color?
It's gonna get interesting here.
Oh!
Wow.
That could be huge there for background. The +4 establishes the color over to blue down to 2 cards. Answers back does gold.
That was huge.
Now background going to try and alleviate those blues that he probably had there looking for the finish. Gold will do the same. Now background iced.
There's Gold Eye. No, he's still going. He's still moving along.
Knotted at 4 cards each. Background
Oh, he's drawing.
draws, says GG.
He thinks it's over.
4 cards left. Gold over into
No.
green. You gotta think if there's a broken link in the chain right now, power play would be a viable option here. Background can only run in green. And gold iced. So must have had 2 disconnects there where the power play would not have been able to be utilized. Background finds a top deck with the Chomic. But not going to be enough. Both going to be iced out here, and we'll go into another draw city.
Let's just start backing it up.
Both continue to be iced out here in green, looking for a top deck. Either green to be able to get some number efficiency for a light switch, maybe find a light switch right off the bat here with an 8. But we were down to 4 cards each. We're now back up into double digits. Gold will find a top deck there.
That's the whole thing with these low amount of card starts. You're gonna get 2 variations here. Either a long game or you're gonna get a short one. We're gonna get this long one now, so it's gonna be interesting.
Gold iced out in yellow. Interesting with all the drawbacks that we did there in the draw city. Might be exactly what background needs here to be able to establish momentum, establish possession.
Oh my goodness. Oh, there's triple. It's gonna be a big play here.
Caps it off with the 4. So the wraparound from yellow into red.
With a 5-card bagger there.
Yep. +2 there as well. So draws gold back to an even dozen.
Dozen donuts.
Stop it.
Over the blue. Oh my goodness. Come on.
It gets it to check on the 0 sugar. Does background. Gold goes 1 up.
Does background have it?
No, he does not.
He has a chance. Oh, and he's drawing back. Oh man.
Now Gold trying to get this back even. Has him iced out. Ooh.
Oh, draws on the green reverse.
That's interesting.
But background's gonna get out of it.
I'm surprised Gold played those reverses instead of maybe waiting for a cap off in green instead of drawing back to it. I mean, they're both iced out now.
I'm kind of surprised that he didn't do that, but I guess he decided let's kind of draw this back, but also keep it close.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is he wrapped it around there to ice background out in green. And background finding
Over
some
the
top
red
decks
now.
there. Yeah.
That's gonna open the door for gold here.
Background down to 4. Gold's got 14. Does he start maybe using some ammunition if he's got it?
Yeah, it would be huge right here. Oh my
That's a
goodness.
quad skip, and we're still
Oh,
going.
so right now at the 4, How many more can he do? 6 cards!
6. Bagger caps it off with the red 0. Now brings it down to 8 cards. Background at 4. Plays his own card there with the red 8.
Oh boy. Gold might have something big here. Nope, gonna play it cool.
Background down to 3. Do we see a power play at any point here if you're background trying to knot this series up? Oh, it doesn't need
No, he's
it!
not!
Doesn't need
Tie
it!
it up!
+2 trips play closes out with the JT Blue 5. We are knotted 4 apiece. Both power plays are still available. Wow. And we got 3 potential games left to play. Yep, go right ahead, background.
Wow!
We are. Cody Smart hits it right in the head. We're in power play mania territory. I mean,
Yeah, he's got it. He has the point.
it's getting
Basically
used
now,
on both
basically now
sides this
you
next game.
basically now from game 9 on out, no matter what happens, you can play your power plays
Yes.
to any advantage here. But it's now so crucial here on also the card starts. Because now we're gonna be going back to background characters side of things, and who knows what might happen.
Yeah, I mean, right now, it's kind of all over the board what background will be able to call. He's been in the lower tier, he's been in the mid tier, he's been in the high tier with the games that he's won. And to the point there from both Cody Smart and from Gold, I think it's almost a guarantee if we end up going all the way to game 11, it's almost a guarantee we're going to see at least one power play played in every one of those 3 games. The odds, the odds are there where it's going to happen with 4 power plays there, 2 on each side. The question now is, do both of those power plays on each side, do they become an offensive power play on both? Or do we split them where one is used as an offensive power play and then the other one's kind of kept in reserve if necessary as a defensive power play?
I would say by how this series has gone, it's going to be offensive to both. There's no way you're going to be able to get a defensive power play unless you have some crazy amount of luck to try to get it in the middle of a run.
We're waiting for background to come back here from his BRB. I believe he's back. Okay. I was going to ask, I kind of do want to ask this question. I want to know, Gold, as you've been here before, this your 4th appearance in the Final Four. Have you been in a scenario like this where we've been this late in the game and you've got power plays on both sides? Is there any of your previous history in matchups like this where you've been in this scenario before, or is this a first time for you? I'm not sure if Gold heard my question there. He might have actually gone AFK himself. Oh, nope, he's there. Well, we see what he has here for this answer, but we'll then be gearing up. Oh, that's okay. I was just asking because I am curious. With this being your 4th appearance in the Final Four, have you been in a scenario like this in the previous 3 appearances where we've been this late into a series and both power plays are available and everything? Is there anything from your prior history that you can kind of go back to with this type of scenario, or is this a first time for you having this kind of a situation this late in a best of 11 series? Just not that you can remember. Last tournament, it was close with 3 power plays in the final 2 games. Okay, so pretty close to similar there. And boy, this is going to be interesting. We're going to be on the edge of our seats waiting to see that Uno PP on either side potentially played in what could be these final 3 games. 2 wins needed on both sides to go on and face Vapor in the final table. 2 homestands upcoming here for Background. All 4 of his victories have been on the road in this series. Background, no 5, no 7, no 10, no 14. Lot of options still there in the lower mid to high tier. What are we going for in game number 9? And he'll go with a 13.
OG full send.
And we're kicking things off here on the wild. Both will draw
Wow!
back on it.
Oh, come on.
Neither one blinking here. And now Background will establish the color into red. And Gold immediately light switches it into the yellow.
Does Background have something? Oh,
Well,
with the green.
I believe this is the 3rd time we've ended up having the Trips light switch.
Yeah,
We
I would think so in this series.
haven't had Skittles yet. We've been close a couple of times.
I think we sold out on Skittles here.
Probably we did. Double play there early on here from Background. The double play with the +2. Gold will light switch it over into blue. That +2 early there from Background. You have to think he's trying to establish card quantity possession here. And now,
Wow!
same deal there for Gold. Quad play with the +2, wraps around with a double reverse into the Charles Sanford red 6.
And he has possession arrow.
Background just has to follow in the red with the 9. Now we're going to we use some ammunition here in the early going. Now we may be in the middle portion. We start trying to use the numbers, trying to get to that home stretch. Again, you're just trying to look for a run with one disconnect to be able to utilize the power play here to close it out and take a crucial game 5. Background taking some time here. Oh, wow.
Oh, double play, but uses that +4.
He'll draw Gold back to 12. He'll bring it back down to 11. That was a very early play with that +4 there from Background. Almost makes me wonder if he's got more in reserve.
Oh, look at that! Look at the
No,
look at
maybe
the use
not.
of that red wild.
Yep, uses it to ice him out.
And that's perfect for Gold here to start making that run. He needs to try to pull away here, but not like that.
He's got the run as you alluded to. Wraps it to blue.
That's going to give Background character a chance to use some cards here.
Bottom floor to top floor, 0 to 9. Gold down to 5 with the power play available. This would be around the end zone area. We've seen 4, 5, 6 bag finishes here. Background's got to think. What does he want to do here? Does he want to do something defensive here? Background has been yet to win a game at home here in this series. He's loading up something. He'll find a wraparound.
Triple play.
Double reverse into the Acosta 9. Not to set 5 apiece. Gold will get the 1 card advantage here. Uh-oh, Background says GG. Is this a power play? No, it's not.
No. I think Background was thinking that might have been it, but no.
4 cards each. Gold
KT
with the
Wild.
over to blue. If Background doesn't have an answer, that could be it right there. That could be exactly what Gold needs. Does Background have something? No, he doesn't.
No,
This'll
that
be
might
the power
be it.
play. This'll have to be the power play right here. No, he doesn't use it. Wow, I'm shocked. I thought that was a guaranteed power play right there.
But Background still doesn't have anything.
Gold looking for check. Does a power play happen here? Does he just not have the right cards that a power play would be a connector?
Or is it a double play and he
Maybe.
still holds on to both power plays?
Maybe he has like a number efficiency here. Maybe something in blue. Oh, nope. He'll go to check. He doesn't power play. He gets to check with the yellow 7.
He's still going to be holding on to both power plays.
It's got to be. He'd has to be have one card in 3 colors then. That.
He does
Oh!
it!
He had a ditto. Wow, interest. Okay. Well, I have I have questions, Gold. You have 2 power plays there. You have a guaranteed win with the ditto there with the yellow 7s. Why did we not play a power play at that point in time? Great.
Great.
Okay. All
I
right.
guess I guess he wants to try to climb up a hill, but here's the thing. He's got the advantage now going into game number 10 here, and if possible, a game 11, that if he still has them, he has the advantage.
Well, here's a thought. Here's a scenario. I don't know if this is a thing, and those that are more well versed in this Uno tournament style of play can correct me if I'm wrong. Is there a possibility where now up 5-4, we go into game 10, background is close to being able to pick up a victory, one of the power plays is used defensively, and he still has another power play to use in that same game offensively if you're goal. Is it a possibility to use 2 power plays in one game? Is that a thing?
Well, remember, you got to remember how the rules work. You can't do it back to back after
Right.
one's gotten used, and it has to be used strategically. You got to use it properly because if not, it's going to be a waste.
Okay, there is a possible scenario to use both power
There is a
plays in one game.
possibility. There is a possibility to use it, but remember, can't use it back to back.
Okay. All right, well, that makes things very interesting then now heading into game number 10. Gold 1 win away from taking this series and facing Vapor. Background looking for his first win at home, but if he knots us up at 5, we are going into a game 11, a rubber match here in this best of 11. Well, Background 5, 7, 10, and 14 still not available. Your final homestand, what are we looking at here for game number 10? Okay, I thought
Full
so. I thought
send.
so. I was going to be shocked if we weren't. He was flirting up there with the 13, the 14. Now he'll go with the full send 15. Let's see what happens here. Can he draw it back even? 5-5. Send us into a game 11. Can Gold get the win he needs to move on to the final table? Both players still have both power plays at their disposal here.
That is just crazy that both guys still had their power plays.
Started in
Which
yellow, immediately the light switch over into green. We're going to be running numbers quite a bit here, I feel, with 15 cards started on each side.
and remember now, since both guys have played a couple of cards, power play is open to be used.
Ditto play there with the ALP green 5. Gold with the Chomik 8. When do we see the light switches? We're running in green for quite a bit here. Continuing to run in green. So a lot of green distributed on each side, which kind of think about later on in this game. If you need an ISO play color, green might be that said color here.
It might be, but again, 15 cards is a lot of cards. So it might be interesting as wow.
Background again with the early play of a +4 to establish it over into red. Draws gold back to 14. Gold will light switch it into yellow.
Background won't have a problem. Gonna keep it with the yellow.
Gold with the double play there. And Background answers with a trips play of his own. Background down to 4 cards left. We're in that area. We're in that zone.
Background's going all in here. He's basically saying he needs this, but Gold ain't gonna allow that.
Yep. Had the card necessary. Brings it back. Close to even now. And Background says, I still want that red. He'll play his second wild and get it over to that color. Oh, but Gold says, what in the world?
Are you kidding me?
The call and response in game 10. The red wild to the +4 not once, but twice.
And Gold's got the advantage.
Background answers back himself. He'll knot us up at 8 cards each with the +2.
But Gold still has the advantage.
Lot of ammunition used right there in the span of a short amount of time. Background will get it over into yellow now. Gold will follow him there. Gold with that 1 card advantage though. Both players 2 power plays available. Gold's iced. Background might bail him though. Brings it to red. Trips play from Gold. Now down to 4. Background knots it at 4 apiece with the red 9.
Background still with the advantage here. And they're keeping it close.
Still not at 3. We're down to 3 each. There's the power play. For the series. 3 cards left.
Is that it for Gold?
The power play utilized just needs 1 broken link in the chain for the power play to be able to mesh it together. He'll do it with the number efficiency in the blue 8 to the yellow 8, and Gold will take the series.
Gold is heading on to the final table.
It'll be a 4 seed versus 4 seed. Vapor versus Gold. Gold takes the series 6-4.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
We talk about when you end up getting a starting hand, you just know that you're going to win it at the end of the day. That's one of those hands right there.
That's a monster hand right there. My goodness.
So that means that all 4 of the wild +4s were distributed between the 2 players there on that 15 card start piece.
But most of them went to Gold.
Yes. Wow. That is
my goodness.
Crazy. And how strange is it here as well, aren't the fact that we're going to end off 1 short of going the distance here in 11 games, but there's going to be 3 power plays that weren't even utilized in this series at all. 2 on Background side, 1 on Gold side. I mean, you can't take them with you. It's amazing that we ended up seeing 3/4 of our power plays not even utilized in this series.
That's crazy to think about, but man, unbelievable that the power play usage wasn't the main factor here on this series. It was basically one of those sorts of series that it had to come down to who was able to get to the punch first, and it was basically Gold.
Also interesting stat, seemed like nobody wanted to perform for their home crowd. Only 1 game was won at home. That was Gold back in game 3. Every other win was an away victory. So I guess that advantage of being at home was kind of null and void for the most part here in this series. Gold, congratulations on moving on. You're going to be facing off against Vapor, a 4 seed versus a 4 seed. What's the confidence level after an endurance battle like this one here heading into that final table? And background, obviously, commiserations here. Well-fought series. You still are not done. You're going to be facing off against Caesar in finding out who's going to be taking the bronze medal in the third place battle here in a while. And I mean, a lot of experience gained here going up against some formidable players here in the round of 8 here in the final 4. In the case of Gold, how does that have you prepared in that final game here to try and get that bronze medal in Jackpot June? Looks like Background's already got his quote in there.
Luckily for Gold, luckily for Background character, he still gets to play another game against Caesar.
Yes, he does. Is that game against Caesar? Is that also a best of 11 series similar to what we just had right here?
It's a third place game. I forget how that goes.
Okay.
I think with how it's normally ran, it'll be like a best of 7.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, this was definitely a crazy one. This one went a lot longer than the Vapor Caesar game did. That one ended in a 6-1 victory for Vapor. This one had to go to 6-4 for Gold to be able to move on. Again, the efficiency out of both of these players is exemplified on the amount of time that this series was. 10 games, and we were under 45 minutes, 4 minutes and 20 seconds, the average for a 10-game series. That is crazy here, and Background says probably just on me, not trying to make it seem like Gold didn't skillfully play, just think the luck spoke more, not letting any dynamic play actually show. Gold says, heck of a series, wish the bot had been more balanced, well fought every step of the way. As I have an ad popping up in front of my text here, wishing Background best in the third place matchup and in T5. And yeah, going to be a lot of momentum here for both these players going into T5 as well. Background, the best of the rookie class here in T4. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that Gold was up there. I think he was the 9th seed in Super League right now. So he's making a good case for himself to having a pretty high seed when Super League begins later on this year. But a great series, a great battle. We now await to see what's going to happen when Background will be taking on Caesar to see who's going to take third place in this tournament. And of course, on the final table, it's going to now be Gold taking on Vapor. 4 seed, taking each other on to see who's going to take the ultimate prize here, who's going to hit the jackpot in June. Cannot wait to see how that one is going to culminate. Our thanks to Cody Smart, our referee here, Sean Art for joining me on commentary. I've been Seth Cole. Be sure to join us as we close out Jackpot June here in Division 1 for the 2025 MRE Uno tournament here on the MRE Uno YouTube channel. Until then, have a great rest of your Tuesday afternoon. We'll see you guys next time.
This has been a presentation of MRE Division 1.